welcome back. I'm really excited about today's episode. Last time we had mentioned we're going a little old school on the Z4's paint, and I showed you guys how to apply our sealant. Now the sealant's going to provide you the protection and shine that you're going to need, and our sealant school really is the best sealant on the market. But today we're going to do something that we like to do whenever we apply a sealant on a car's paint, and we're going to do what's called stacking. Now stacking is going to provide you the additional protection as well as the depth of shine that you're looking for. And we're going to be stacking today with our gloss sauce. Now, what makes our gloss sauce different is that it's a T1 carnauba wax that's been blended with synthetic polymers that's going to provide you the durability and extra depth of shine. So I'm really excited about it, so let's get started. I get so excited when I get to wax a car because it's such a therapeutic process. And gloss sauce just goes on so easy. Now you're going to want to take a couple dollops on a microfiber pad, and you're going to go through and do a little crosshatch pattern and let it dry, and then wipe it down with a microfiber towel, and your paint is going to be looking fantastic. So we'll come back here at the end and show you guys the final results.
Welcome to the Dirtiest Car in America program, and we have our star here, the 2008 BMW Z4. I gotta tell you, this car is probably the grossest detail I have ever done. I mean, we took out most of the garbage, and now I left a little bit just for drama's sake. However, this carpet is wrecked. Whoever owned the car before drank a lot of coffee. Okay, let me rephrase that. Whoever owned the car before spilled a lot of coffee, and it is everywhere. So before we get going and finish out this interior and reinstall our seats, we're gonna have to go through, vacuum up all the grime, and then show you our little house cocktail that we pour on the carpet to loosen up that coffee and get it going before we use the extractor. So let's get started. So after about $60 and change and 120 cigarette butts later, we finally finished vacuuming this car. And I gotta tell you, if I don't have the black lung after that, it's gonna be amazing. But evaluating the carpet after lifting up all the loose dirt, I think it's time to bring in the big guns. I mean, there is so much coffee and so much grime in this. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to save it. But since we do have a limited budget on this show, we're gonna do our best. What we started out with was a cocktail of half water, half hyper cleanse, and it is hot. Usually this is pretty extreme, but I'm gonna pour it on the stains, allow it to saturate for a little bit, then we'll come back and hit it with the extractor and see if we can save this carpet. Let's go. All right, we've gone through and we have scrubbed the carpet with our Hyper Cleanse and hot water mix, and it was pretty gross. So I guess our next step is now we are gonna go through and suck out all that dirty water, get this carpet cleaned, clean the rest of the interior so we can reinstall the seats and the other interior parts. Let's go. All right, Starbucks, anybody? I think we've taken 26 cups of coffee and transferred them right into the extractor. And this is gross. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I cannot believe how the paint's coming out after stacking the gloss sauce on top of that sealant swill.
Yeah, and what's amazing is you did this all by hand. I mean,
we're going old school, baby.
Yeah, I just cannot believe it. I cannot wait to show the befores and afters on this. And you know what? Anyone who doesn't believe that you can turn paint around and make it healthy did not see this car close up before, because that looks like it came straight out of the showroom.
Well, I'm a big fan of ceramics, but I'll be honest with you, going old school on this one, loved every minute of it.
You wait till this thing's driving down the road at night. This is just gonna throw light like nothing else. Wait a minute. Do you hear that?
It's Steve crying in the back, I think.
There's our accountant, and when he starts crying, what does that mean?
It means we're giving away.
We're giving away product. Honestly, because the camera is never gonna do this paint justice, we're gonna pick 12 comments made at the bottom of the show, and we are going to give away gloss sauce to each of them, because we want you guys to experience firsthand what paint looks like when it's done with gloss sauce. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
It really does look good.
So 12 bottles, you throw it in the randomizer, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right.
So,
good work.
thanks.
All right. Well, I think the carpet is done, and you're gonna have to agree, I think, that it looks like brand new. We probably took 20 cups of coffee out of that, and mixing the hot water with the Hyper Cleanse really worked well. We showed you the water in the extractor, and it was pretty gross, but we don't have to buy new carpet, and it smells clean again. So let's call it a job well done. Okay, so we're feeling great about the carpet right now, but it's really time to get up here into the dash and all the buttons and clean up all those little nooks and crannies that make the big difference when you're doing the interior of a car. So the only thing I trust to that is the handy dandy steamer that we use here. I'm gonna get started on that. We're gonna get the rest of the cockpit finished, and then we're gonna move on to the engine from there. All right, so like we talked about in the first part of the show, this is a great engine. I thoroughly enjoyed driving this car home, and this big 3.0 six-banger is just absolutely a blast. But it's filthy. So an engine this pretty, to leave it like this would be a crime. So we're gonna go through and show you quickly how we clean an engine. Now, a lot of people are afraid of this because they don't want to ruin their motor, and that makes sense. However, engines were made to get wet. The one thing we don't want to do though is saturate any one part. So the best thing is to do is start out with a pre-wash like Hyper Cleanse or anything you happen to have around. Spray down the motor and let that dirt work loose. That way when I spray it, I can lightly touch the engine with the water, get rid of the cleanser, and then we're gonna have a spotless engine after without any worries of damage. So let's get started. So now that we've pre-treated the motor, we're ready to take care of it and wash it off. It's really important to make sure your engine's not hot while you're doing this, and do not point directly at the engine. All right, the second step to making any engine look brand new is the drying part. What we like to do is use a drying agent like our interior detailer and spray it around the major plastic parts in the motor as we dry it. That mixed with the water will dilute it so we don't get too much sheen, but the parts are gonna look natural and brand new. So here we go.
Oh, geez. A little over the top with theatrics, huh? A sheet?
I'm just saying, you didn't believe in my project, so now you don't get to enjoy the fruits of it. Wait. Let's do this with a little pageantry, shall we? I mean, this was a project. We went from, against your better judgment, red to tan. Yeah. And I gotta tell you,
well, let's see.
I wish it would have been gone black with it because that was hard. And before you look and become a hater, I want you to know there's some touch-ups and some details.
You get so sensitive.
I know, but you know how these cars, you know what these cars mean to me. Yeah. So wait, stand back. I want the whole effect here. And ready.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
It looks good.
You can't deny.
Good. I mean, the interior doesn't look as good as when I usually detail it.
I think that's the cleanest interior this thing has seen in 20 years. I mean, it is crazy.
The seats look good though. I was wrong. I mean, going from red to tan, complete difference.
Total bad judgment call on my part, but the tan is gonna keep the interior cool during the summertime, and I really do think it's brightened up the entire car. So,
Well, save the details and we'll talk about it in the wrap up.
Well, there's another car gone. That was pretty fun, but super physical. That one got to me.
Your age is starting to show, it looks like.
Really? All the things we did to that car, it was easy on the budget, but man, that was pretty physical. Pulling the seats, dyeing them, doing all those things. But
well, you have the interior, so sorry I couldn't help with any of the seats or anything.
Yeah, but you know, we started out at $5,400 for the car, and it books out at about $85. And what do you think? Can we get a high book for it?
Yeah, I think we should be able to get a couple grand off that one for sure. So
yeah, well, so let's recap it. I mean, we know most of the good stories we tell around here all started with bad judgment on my part, and that's how this story starts.
You're the creative one.
Well, this story starts with the bad judgment as well, because we decided to take red seats, and you know how I hate red interiors, and turn them into a different color. Now that's not so bad in and of itself, but going from red to tan,
I didn't believe it was gonna happen, so.
Well, a lot of people didn't believe it was gonna happen. I mean, somebody wrote me an anonymous note and put it on my desk and said, well, at least we can change the name of the show to Detail and Fail. And I'm thinking, really? Oh. That did look like you're right. Okay, so the seats, yes, up close, we have some touch up to do, but overall, you got to admit, my theatrics and my unveiling, we did transform the interior.
You're quite the theatrical individual.
I think they call it a thespian, to be exact. So that was the big thing for this car. We changed the interior color, and you got to admit, it
looks good.
Look
Yeah, it looks good.
So
at the end of it,
the next thing we did was old school versus new school. Yeah. What did you think?
Well, I mean, I'm a fan of old school techniques. I'm a fan of waxing. You know, it was a therapeutic experience for me, but I'm still kind of a ceramic guy. You know, I mean, I like that new tech. There's definitely something to be said about, you know, getting on your hands and knees and doing a little waxing, but you know, I'm still a ceramic guy. But for this car, I think it looked great. It brought the paint back. The depth of shine was incredible. And yeah, I mean.
Which brings us to the soap. I mean, so we're testing a new soap on the show, and we debate a long time about ingredients to add. And one of the ideas that we've been playing around with is we added essential oils to the soap because paints dehydrate over time, particularly single stage paints. And so adding those essential oils, we didn't really know what it would do, but I swear, when you were done washing that car, that thing looked rehydrated.
Well, the eucalyptus helped as well.
Yeah, that really lifted the dirt right up. But if we go on to fails, let's talk about the wheel cleaner.
Yeah, so the wheel cleaner didn't work out. You know, like I said in the last episode, we didn't get even close to the bleed that we wanted on it. So, I mean, it didn't really pull the dirt like we wanted it to. You know, it took some scrubbing for sure to make them look nice. So.
I might have given you the wrong bottle. Maybe we just used water.
It seemed like it.
This is a tough business. You have to try a lot of things to get where you need to go. So,
but we're only on our 25th version on that one, so.
So we'll push the wheel cleaner off to the side as we'll put it in the loss column. But we got 2 wins so far. So the other things we did to it, we went through and those headlights, the clear coat on them was gone.
The huge difference though from the headlight that we did, and we have before and afters for you guys to take a look at, but huge difference. I mean, it was incredible how we brought those lights back.
Yeah, without a doubt, that was a big transformation for the car. But my favorite part of it was, you know how I love those 3.0 liter 6-bangers in that car. That is such a smooth engine, and it was terrible. It was filthy. So I went through and we did some cleaning on the engine, and I think when you see the before and afters, that thing's just beautiful. And we got rid of the bungee holding the fender on.
we did get rid of the bungee. So
that was pretty funny. I drove that all the way from California with that thing flapping in the wind. I was scared to death to take it out.
And your spider friend, did you?
Oh yeah.
Did you want to talk about that again too?
Okay, so everyone around the office is tired of hearing about the spider. But if you take a look up here, for a little fella, he was
spider relocation program.
Yes. And we didn't send him to heaven. We took care of him. We put him in a nice garden. Yeah. So what can we say? We like the spider. He'd been around for a long time. But once we were done with that, I think the big one that you could call this show was about the interior, because that without a doubt was the worst car.
Oh, the 1 week that I didn't do the interior, it's about the interior.
Yeah, you're lucky. Exactly. You lucked out. That was so gross. That guy must have spilled 30 cups of coffee.
There was a smoker too.
Smoker too. I swear, I turned my face after vacuuming it and the exhaust from the vacuum hit me right. And if I'm alive in 2 weeks, it'll be a miracle. But nonetheless, $5,400 for the car. I think it hasn't sold yet.
Hasn't sold yet.
But we haven't had a chance to really promote it or list it. So, but I think overall, what a great car.
Yeah.
It was light on the pocketbook. Let's go back. What did we spend? $130 on the third brake light, and about $60 on the coloration.
On the dye.
And then about 14 years off my life. You don't put that into the budget every time.
No, you don't.
Also, you did the stacking of the products. You did the seal and squeal with the gloss sauce on top with that white paint. Man,
amazing.
It did look amazing.
It did look good.
And so
I'd like to see what it did with a little ceramic slam on there too, but we didn't go there.
Yeah, you can't be mixing that stuff. But much to Steve's dismay, we gave away 12 bottles of gloss
12
sauce.
bottles of gloss sauce.
Oh, and also we did a little extra on the trim. We showed that because BMW trim is the worst. Yeah. I mean, it was so oxidized. So let's give away some trim serum too.
Okay. Yeah.
They didn't hear us, did they?
No,
so we'll give away 12 bottles of trim serum.
He hasn't come in with a gun yet, so.
Yeah, so we're good. So that's gonna wrap it up. Let's go to the before and afters. Let's take a look at the car. And I gotta tell you, I don't know what shows up on film, but that car really is beautiful.
It does look good. And the next car that we have for you guys, super excited about. Super excited. We found a little gem. So you're gonna have to tune in for the next episode to check it out.
I'm excited as well. All right, let's go.
Let's do it.